1967 Pontiac Firebird. Beautiful polished black. Absolutely fantastic car. It's not perfect, but that's okay. This one came in, I had a broken exhaust hanger because they're running under the rear axle, so when it's on the lift it actually breaks the mounts, but he has said he wants us to do some up and over the axle outlets, stock exit location. That'll be coming in the future. This one's got an old school traction bar on it. And frame ties. And I just got done putting an Extreme Transmissions Stage 4 200R in it. Did that over the weekend. Got that knocked out. But he's also complaining about the steering being loose, which you can see it's got a little bit of play in the Pitman arm there. The tie rod ends are all original. Upper ball joints are still riveted in, they're original. Idler arm looks to have been replaced somewhere. And that's about it for this 1967 Pontiac. So I have new inner and outer tie rod ends, new sleeves, new upper lower ball joints, and a new Pitman arm. Now you can see these headers basically rest on the suspension system, which is not great. Looks to have new engine mounts in it. Not sure what we're going to do about that header fitment, because that's horrible. And it obstructs my ability to change the Pitman arm. So I guess I'm gonna, and I can't even rotate the arm. I can't even rotate the gearbox because it's against the header up top. Well, that escalated quickly. I don't really want to pull a header to do a Pitman arm. And that's why fitment on the things you put into your cars is so important. And that's why when you go to a shop with an old car that's had Lord only knows how many parts put in it, they can't give you, ouch, they can't give you a price for what it's going to cost to do something like out of a book, because it's no longer a mass-produced car when you've got a bunch of custom parts in it. It basically makes a bunch of complications unless you have somebody putting it together that understands service after the fact is important, and it needs to be assembled and put together in such a way that when things fail or wear out, you can replace them. Alright, so I finally had a win on the Camaro, got past that. So now I want to get past this Pitman arm, which I'm fretting over, because I believe this F body has A body headers on it. Maybe you can see that the Pitman arm is rubbing against the header right there. So I am, when I get this out, I am going to try and see if I can put a little indent into that collector, but oh, that collector gasket's shot. But yeah, that's the problem. Now Pontiacs use this curved Pitman arm because normally the exhaust manifold is right here and the Pitman arm wraps around it, but since we don't have that style exhaust, we can use the straight one. Although technically we should be changing these headers for something a little more correct for this car. But this is what we have to work with. So we're gonna make it work. Because unfortunately that's what happens a lot of times with old cars. But you can see this Pitman arm, the joint is actually part of the Pitman arm. And you can see it's completely shot. It wobbles side to side as well. I don't know if I can show that to you with holding my tripod at. There it is. And he just had this thing aligned, which they put an idler arm on it, and then they aligned it. I don't know how they did that. I'm gonna put inner and outer tie rod ends, new adjuster sleeves. These are all original. New upper and lower ball joints on it. His bushings, his control arm bushings, actually look in pretty good shape. I think this car was probably garage kept for most of its life, because it's a very, very solid unit with all the factory pinch welds. Looks like it had trunk extensions put in it. Trunk extension put in it there. Those are definitely not factory welds. Inner tail pan's original. Not too bad, really. So I think I'm gonna pull the engine mount bolts, see if I can finagle the engine one way or the other to get me a little more space. I need like an inch. I don't have an inch. Move this Pontiac in the engine bay. I'm hoping I can kind of shift the engine and go pivot it over a little bit. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I'm going to try because it's really my only choice to expose this bolt. I can't, like, I took the gear loose and it won't even move because it's hammered up against that header so bad. I really don't want to pull the header if I don't have to. All over the place. I don't know how you align a car with loose steering components, but apparently somebody said they could. I don't believe you. You're lying. Alright. Grab my pickle fork. Knock these rod ends off. I gotta find the wheel lug. Because this has wheel locks on it. Let's see if it's in the car. Watch me break something. Go! Make your life a lot worse. Yeah, it's making my life worse. That's exactly what I need to do. I'm going to heat that up and give it a little dimple there.
Give it a little massage.
Give it a little massage. Heat it, beat it.
Yeah.
Destroy that coated header.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been basically every day this week. I've voided the manufacturer's warranty on brand new parts almost every day this week.
Your nuts should be swollen because you're getting kicked every day.
It's not been fun. The spark plugs one was.
You did finally win that.
I did win on that one. I'm happy about that. I'm a little more relaxed, but I want this Pitman arm to be in my past, so that's why I'm attacking it right now. See if I can have 2 wins in one day. That would be an amazing change of luck for me. So you can see it's been rubbing against the header for quite some time. I might be able to get that loose. I still can't get my Pitman arm puller on it. But if I have a 2-jaw one, I might be able to. We'll see if... I think I broke my 2-jaw one. A little heat will make it better, I'm sure. But we'll heat that up and put a big dimple in it. Hey, hey Austin. We need some collector gaskets for this. Let's see if we can...
You don't need them now, you'll need them soon.
Well, yeah, if you don't need them today, you're gonna need them tomorrow. I replaced the one on the other side, I think. So I may have one here because I put lock nuts on this side because I had this off to do the transmission.
Okay.
But I was noticing this one is leaking right there. So
Right where the steering is?
right where they welded the stud into the...
Oh.
Yeah.
It's about to get loud.
So I used to have a fixed 2-jaw Pitman arm puller and I broke it and I haven't replaced it yet, so I need to order one of those. I'm going to try using my snap-on puller, probably with some heat. We'll see if this thing will pop this guy off. I might get lucky.
And I might not.
It's off. Goodbye, Jet Hat Pudding. Been nice seeing ya. Hand me that, or have that impact there that I got sitting there handy for me. Perfect. That'll do. Alright, so this guy doesn't have any shims. Actually needs upper control arm bushings done, so that'll be the next thing to do. That one's not too bad, but control arm bushings are definitely on the list. So we're gonna have positive camber. We might have some caster on this side. We're not gonna have any caster on this side. And camber might be somewhere reasonable, but probably not. So I'm going to do a modern alignment. Basically, if you take a car like this 67 Pontiac Firebird to a shop to get an alignment done, they're going to look at the factory specs for the car when it was built in 1967. And you know, we've grown up since the 60s. We don't run bias ply tires anymore. We have a lot of way better ways to make alignments, make the cars handle better through the alignment. Let me get this thing on the rack. We'll do an initial setup because I've just replaced tie rod ends, ball joints, Pitman arm. So this thing's going to be completely out of whack. Let me get an initial toe set up on it and we will get this thing set up with a little better alignment than what it had originally. It does have one upper control arm bushing that's completely shot. But we'll get it close. Alright, so we got a bunch of toe out, which I already knew. -7 camber, 0 camber. I didn't even bother to sweep caster because it's not going to be relevant until I get the toe somewhat close. So basically I just racked it, comped it, and I'm going to set my toe and then I'll recomp it. And I'll probably recomp it again, and then I can start checking caster and camber numbers. Got to get the toe kind of in the ballpark, not, you know, sweeping left, sweeping right, to be able to make a good alignment out of one of these. A lot of guys will rack them up, send them down the line, and then they come back with tires peeled off because their compensation was garbage. Because the machine doesn't like when it's all out of whack like that. So I'm going to make some adjustments here, just give some twists to my turnbuckles, square it up and recomp. That's a good baseline. So now our toe's kind of squared up, it's good enough. Let's recomp it. Start over. So, it has more caster than I thought it would have. Assuming that's a correct reading. So after recomp, we're 1 1/4 towed in. Caster's actually pretty close. That's surprising. I'm used to seeing them with a lot less than that. So I'm going to throw some camber and some caster into this side. That actually I'm going to probably just leave be. And then we'll square up our toe. I think that's where we're going to leave it. I'm going to have to order the control arm bushings in for this, so we'll probably have them pick it up and we'll do those at another time. At least it's good enough alignment now to hold it for until we can do those bushings. We went ahead and ordered new upper and lower control arm bushings for this because they need done. I was curious, so I re-racked this thing up to see what kind of change we had, and actually quite a bit of change. The toe's still acceptable, but it's towed in way more than what it was when I started on this. So basically after driving it twice, I've got way more toe in than what I started with yesterday, and my caster went down, my camber went down. And basically that just tells me everything's moving around, which I knew because the bushings are shot. You know, they're 60 years old. So they need done. We've got some Moog, brand new Moog units ordered. They'll be here on Tuesday. Pull the arms off, replace the bushings, put it back together, tighten up the alignment. This thing will be off to the races. Basically you're going to be with the loose control arm, can't speak. Basically with the loose control arm bushings, when you hit bumps, you're going to have inputs into the control arms that make the tires do weird things. And in the rain, not that this car's getting driven in the rain, but in the rain it can do some funny things. You end up with rattles and different things. So we're going to get this suspension locked down and done correctly, and it should be fabulous when we're done with it. Takes a couple more days to make that happen because parts for these old cars oftentimes are not in stock at local box stores, just because even though they made millions of these things, there's not that many of them still out there on the road, at least not on a regular basis. But we'll pick this up when my bushings come in and keep moving forward.